Okay, this is always an exciting time. This is the confirmation sew-off for this Husqvarna Viking Type 21. It's been on my workbench a little bit longer than usual because we had some final checks to do on it. Also, obviously, with Christmas and the New Year's, there's a lot of things that kind of get in the way of sometimes pushing that forward. So I'm excited to get this off to Kathy and get it heading towards the great state of Kentucky. So we're going to be doing just a couple of sew-offs with this machine. You know what, with a 1.5 amp motor, there's not a whole lot you can put in front of this machine that it's not going to be able to really handle quite easily. But we're going to do a bit of leather sewing off. We're going to be doing some denim sew-offs as well. And just for fun, a little bit of zipping around just to show the maneuverability of this machine as well. So let me head over by the machine and I'll rotate my little screen forward so hopefully I can see what you're seeing. That's helpful occasionally. And I'm going to make a slight adjustment there. There we go. So again, the Type 21 is it's going to have the same size motor as the 21A. It's also going to have a bigger motor than the 21E or the 19E. So it's a fun machine to do sew-offs with because it really gets the job done easily. If you're able to see in the camera, this is some vegetable tan leather. Nothing lightweight about this stuff at all. I'm going to go through 2 layers, and we're not going to sew off on it with a straight stitch. We're going to use a zigzag stitch just to show what this machine is capable of. And you may not be able to see in this shot because we're a little bit further out, but there is a ton of space underneath this presser foot. It's just crazy what you can fit under that presser foot with this machine. So let me get my foot on this very cool speed pedal and we'll see if we can sew this off without too much delay here as I'm getting settled in my chair for the first time in a while. I haven't shot a video in a while, and I'm surprised I haven't gotten some comments from the viewers and from the subscribers about that. So, all right, again, 2 layers of vegetable tan leather. I would say it's probably going to be close to about 8 ounces, 6 to 8 ounces of leather. So here we go. Well, I don't know what you saw, but other than me having a poor foot placement, that machine just went nuts and said, I got this, no problem. So I'm going to give this a clip right there, one more thread. And this is not a heavy grade thread that I have on here right now. So when it comes to being able to sew at this level through 8 ounces of vegetable tan leather, and get through it with a fairly generic Coates & Clark type thread and a size 90 needle from the great company of Schmetz. I absolutely love their product. If you haven't gathered that yet, this machine just went to town on it. So I'm going to see if I can, let me see if I can do it like this. I'll balance it. And material never wants to cooperate when you're trying to get it to set still, so you can do something like this. So let me go ahead and zoom in a little bit so you can get a closer look at that stitch. Let's start on the bottom here. And hopefully it doesn't go on a focus, so I'll move it kind of slow. You can see we've got kind of a combination stretch, zigzag. It's just absolutely, I'm going to move even closer. It's just absolutely spectacular. I mean, the formation, the stitch spacing is just absolutely spot on. You can kind of see it up there as well. And you can see from the side also that 8 ounces of vegetable tan leather. You know, there's nothing to sneeze at about that. So I'm going to turn it over as well. Hopefully it doesn't slide too far and too fast and too furious. So you can see our lock-in stitch. Again, you know, I've said this before. I've said it pretty much since I established this channel. You know what? Top stitch, no problem. Most machines can handle that. Again, that top stitch is going to be controlled primarily by that bobbin carrier and by that raceway action. But when you look at that lock stitch and you can see the formation, the spacing, everything about this is absolutely spot on. That tells you that that upper tension is doing the job down there. And you know what? When it comes to a machine being able to get the job done, the real test is what that lock and stitch looks like. And you can see that with your own eyes. It's absolutely spectacular. So I'm going to go back over by the machine again, do a little bit of just fun sewing. I'll move this to the side. And I've already done a little loopy-loopy with this vegetable tan leather, and I forgot to turn my little screen, so bear with me for a second here. Without rotating that around, I have no idea if I'm in bounds or out of bounds as far as you being able to see what's happening with the machine. So, and you know, with Husqvarnas, the general rule, and you can't see it in this shot necessarily, but you always want to bring that take-up arm to the highest position possible before you initiate sewing. It's simply because the mechanics of the machine, the way the motor drives that central pulley system to turn that big belt that's going to drive that shaft, it's much easier to start out if you do that. So just a free tip for any of you Husqvarna Viking owners, doesn't matter what model it is, that same principle applies. So this is the sew off I did already off camera before you had a chance to see the machine sew it all. And it's a beautiful stitch as well, the lock-in stitch and everything else. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to goof around a little bit. I love the maneuverability of Husqvarna Vikings. The final product isn't going to be super pretty. We're not creating an applique. All we're doing is having a little bit of fun. So here we go. And again, just enjoy the beauty of how this machine sews, and particularly a zigzag stitch on vegetable tan leather like this. All right, here we go. And I'm doing a quick little turn here. There we go. I've got my slippers on right now. It's pretty cold in Wisconsin right about now. If any of you have been following the weather, we've been having the sub-zero temperatures. We've been having a lot of freezing rain, and not the best foot gear to have when you're trying to manage a foot control effectively. So it is what it is. At any rate, again, you can just see through the camera, sewing leather for this machine with that 1.5 amp motor, it's not a problem at all. We've already gone through, as you saw in the initial sew off, we've already done the 2 layers of vegetable tan leather. Now we've done a single layer, and everything about that is just absolutely picture perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and move that take-up arm to the highest position again. I'm going to slide that little slipper of mine off so that I can feel that foot control a little bit better, so that I can do justice to what this machine is capable of. We're going to be moving over to denim now. This is our last confirmation sew off. We start with 2 layers, you can see. I'm going to go ahead and fold it. It's going to get us up to 4, and then ultimately up to 6. This is not a test of what this machine is capable of. But you know what? It's fun just to zip through something like this and get a good feeling for what the power of that 1.5 amp motor actually can do. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and get a better placement, hopefully this time, on the foot control, and we'll zip down this 6 layers of heavy grade denim. Here we go. All right, so I was pretty good on the vegetable tanned leather. I can only be good so long. So you know what, when it comes to a stitch off with a machine like this, once in a while you have to use that speed control pedal for what it was intended to do, and that is to give you power and then some. So I'm going to have to zoom in on this, because you know what, black against blue is pretty tough to see, but I'm going to clip the threads, and then I'm going to go ahead and step away from the camera, and hopefully we can get close enough in on this that you'll be able to see the stitch quality. Even from this distance, you can see the formation again, the stitch spacing, the stitch formation, the integrity of it is just absolutely spot on. And again, nothing thin about 6 layers of heavy grade denim. So I'm going to do my best, again, maybe like that down here right on the base plate will be a little bit easier to get a close-in shot so you can see just the beauty of what this incredible Swedish beauty can do without any effort whatsoever. So there's our heavy grade denim. I'm going to get in fairly close here. You can see from the edge there, 6 layers of denim. And as I move slowly across, look at that. You know what? It doesn't get any better than that. You know, to be able to go through heavy grade material, that's always something to celebrate. But some machines just struggle with it. Some of the contemporary machines, they will just wear their horrible little Chinese motors out trying to get through material like this. But this machine, 1.5 amps, that direct drive, immediate burst of power, and a fully restored machine from Scott's Workbench, there's not a lot that's going to be able to slow a machine like this down. So Kathy, it's heading your way before Friday, I promise you, and you're going to have a lot of fun with this incredible machine. So thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and yes, I know we hit 1,700, we didn't do a giveaway, but we did do a giveaway to commemorate the New Year as just kind of an impromptu in that. So, or actually, correction, I think that was Christmas. Everything blurs together after a while. But we are quickly going to be approaching 1,800 subscribers, and I promise you a great giveaway then. So stay tuned, keep watching, and thanks so much for being a subscriber.